Hello everybody, welcome to Grave Mobile Gaming. I am Grave. Today we're going to talk about being an alliance leader. And it doesn't have to be just for Gunship Battle, this is for any mobile game. So the first thing I want to talk about with being a leader, and I'm going to keep it on me, and I know that, there's no wrong way to do it. I'm just going to give you some of my failures and some of my successes and some of the little things that I've learned along the way that helped me. So let's begin. Misfits is an alliance whose goal is to help lower levels grow in a safe environment while also pushing them to do higher level ASGs and Blitz. I don't ask a lot of my members as far as rules go, most of it's just common sense. The main one is to have fun. This is a game. No drama, no arguing. An alliance chat with each other, and definitely not talking big and bad to other alliances unless you're strong enough to help me fight them. We don't care about how much power you have or how much you participate. Real life is more important here. Again, this is just a game to us. My pet peeves, though, I do have some, I'm not perfect, is players who will on purpose use your resources, stamina, whatever it may be for your game, that you use to spawn some sort of mob, NPC, or quest, and then they steal it from you on purpose. That's one thing that's really aggravating. Another one is when you get new people into your alliance is like your home. You don't come in and criticize the owner and demand that he kick his own dog out of his house. And there's a reason I bring all this up, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's get back to what I was originally talking about, and that's me, my alliance, and how we got where we got today. So the whole reason I bring this up is because there is no wrong way to be an alliance leader. However, most alliances do fail eventually. So when I was coming up with our goal, our motto, if you will, we're going to help lower levels. We're going to be not focused on power, but fun. Real life is more important. This is a game. It wasn't always like that. I made a lot of mistakes. See, when I was in our first server, I had to choose between server unity and what I wanted. And what I wanted was selfish. And because of that, I ended up destroying a whole server. That's not good. That was very selfish of me. I shouldn't have done that. I should have unified with the server better, and things might have played out different. I still survived, but other alliances did not. And that was because of me. And I do feel generally bad about it, except for the fact that I didn't start those wars. Well, except for one of them. I was attacked twice before I finally attacked back. And here's one thing, though, that I will say about an alliance leader. An alliance leader must A, be strong, or B, be really good at diplomacy. I am not good at diplomacy, so I had to go to alternate route, which is strength. And I'm not the biggest fish in the sea. I never claimed to be. So I don't need to be on chats talking all this big game and whatnot. I'll just show up at your hive and burn you while you cry for your governor to come save you. Because I try not to be fake, I try not to be toxic, I try not to be selfish, and I've made mistakes. Like I said, I've made the wrong decisions. It was a war game, I wanted power, and I ran the server for almost 6 months. And then when that ended, I realized, I made mistakes. I didn't have to do it that way, but I did. So let's learn from that and go forward. Let's try something different. So I started trying to help others. Then that doesn't mean that's what your alliance has to be. You can set up your alliance any way you want. It took me a year to figure out what I wanted. So if you do that from day one, say, this is what we're doing, this is our goals, this is what we're focused on, this is what we're not focused on, this is what we're going to do or not going to do, or how we're going to do it, that right there is going to be key to your success right off the bat. It's just having what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what type of alliance are we going to be? Are we going to be competitive, going for the tournaments and events and only the biggest players? Or are we going to be a little bit more laid back? Are we going to have the fun group? Are we going to just pick up random players that are allianceless and see if they work out? I mean, the choice is yours. There's no wrong way. Again, no wrong way to play. It's just having that goal and the ability to understand what you want and where you're going with it. That's the key. And in doing so, yeah, my alliance isn't the biggest in the world. It's not. But I guarantee you it's probably one of the loyalists. Because I've never done anything to show that my words and actions were not aligned. And I'm really good at seeing the psychology behind people, and when their words and actions don't line up, part of my job is to weed out those people. I don't want people like that in my alliance that are toxic, that are unpredictable, or straight up dishonest and self-seeking. And this will happen a lot. I'm not a people pleaser. I rather have a smaller alliance. And to those people who can have 50 people get together in an alliance and all work together well, that's awesome. I personally can't do that. Mostly because I don't have time for it. So that's another thing. I have to set realistic time frames for my alliance. I'm available for a few hours at nighttime. 50 people depending on me, kind of a big deal. 20, 25 people, not a big deal. So you have to look at what is your alliance goal? How much time can you give this alliance per day in order for it to succeed? The objective of your alliance. What kind of people do you want in your alliance to help you with this? How many do you want? And most importantly, a good leader is humble, and he knows when he makes a mistake and he makes it right. Now, I'm not the greatest at diplomacy, but I can. And it's easier when you're around alliances that want to do diplomacy too. That makes it a lot easier. And once you find that, then you know you're in a good server. You also need to set boundaries. This is what we're not willing to deal with. When you have no boundaries in your alliance, that means you have no morals, no ethics, and that could lead to toxicity. Not necessarily, but it could. And as a leader, it's your job to make sure that your players are in a healthy environment as well. Okay, a couple more things I want to talk about real quick that helped me not make these mistakes again. The first one was I don't start wars, I finish them. I was in 4 wars in this game. Now, again, this is for any mobile game that has an alliance. You can use these mistakes and failures to learn from in any game, so it doesn't matter, but never ever force somebody to get on or to help you. You always do it by yourself, and those people will follow you if they trust you. If they don't trust you, then that's a you issue, and you need to figure out why they don't trust you. Always do what you say you're going to do. You show up and you show out. and they will trust you. It's very simple. Make sure that your words and actions are always aligned. When you make a mistake, admit it. Always lead by example and never talk smack. Okay. Now, spies. Always gonna happen. No matter what game you play, it doesn't matter, you're always gonna have spies. The best way to deal with spies is to feed them false information. Just start saying random stuff like, oh, I'm gonna go attack this alliance today. And you check to see who's online, and you can pretty much figure it out from there. It's really easy. You just say a bunch of not true stuff, and it'll get back, and you will find out who the spy is. Next up, we have gray area tactics. Gray area tactics are actually used by the world's militaries. It is a way of forcing an enemy or a rival to attack first so that you could play the victim. In war, it's called the gray area tactic. In everyday life, it's called being toxic and being a victim. Nobody likes that. I hope somebody that's going to be an alliance leader stuck with me this far, because this is going to happen to you, and you have to be prepared for when this happens and know what it is first and what to do with it next. Alright, so the gray zone is defined as the competitive interactions among and within state and non-state actors that fall between traditional war and peace duality. A key element of operations within the gray zone is that they remain below the threshold of an attack, which could have legitimate conventional military response. One paper defined it as coercive statecraft. Actions short of war, mainly non-military domain or human activity, in which states use national resources to deliberate, coerce other states. So let me give an example of how this would work in the game. For example, I was doing royal fleets, and I had my fleet stolen right in front of me. So I said, hey, please don't do that. Which the mistake was telling him that I don't appreciate that he's stealing my energy and my time and everything else like that. So what do? They do it more and more and more and more and more. So at this point, it's not against the rules, but they're like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. And then so when I finally say, hey, if you keep doing this, I will declare war on you. To which they cut partnership with me, told me to, I can't say that on here, but come see them, which I did. And then they did exactly what I thought they would do, which was cry like a little girl and say that I was being a bully. However, because I knew what he was doing and had proof, I was able to go back to my base unscathed completely. Now, I don't normally do drama on my videos, but these two different scenarios are going to happen to pretty much every alliance leader, so I hope that this helps. That's why I'm not going to put any names in this video. If you know, well, too bad. I don't know why somebody would follow somebody like that, but hey, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So I get this new player, and they're from a different server, and they want to move here, and they're lower levels, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out, but they broke one of my rules, and it was arguing with each other in alliance chat, and I was like, nope, y'all got to go. There was one other person there. He kept insisting that they weren't any problems, and it was the other person, and to me, this already seems like a lot of drama. And I don't like to do drama. So I decided to give them a second chance. So before they joined today, I sent them mail and it said our rules, which is, because they wanted to bring their alliance here, which, oh, another rule, do not merge with other alliances if they're more than 20 people each. The more people, the less likely it'll work because of the personalities. That's just a rule of thumb to go by. But I digress. Anyway, this is Hachi, aka Negan, aka Captain Price, aka Good Donkey. Yeah, it's a troll. I know her main account's in 2133, so this was the first lie I caught her in. She said I had 3 level 30s coming with me. No, I don't do drama. Well, I'm about to prove that wrong right here. So she goes on to tell me this crazy story about how her friends got special needs and she has to watch him, and I needed to be in the alliance with them, and that she wasn't any trouble, and I already knew better. But I wanted to see for sure because, there's always that possibility. It says right there, I've been watching you, how you help everyone. Alright? I just want you to see how quickly this conversation turns. It's insane. It's literally insanity. I don't know if it's like some sort of narcissistic behavior or what, but it's not healthy, and this is something you don't want in your alliance. So it ends with, you can't be bothered to take comments from your members, you're no leader. I said, wow, I'm sorry I caught you lying. Go run your own lines, know it all. I've been so busy dealing with this mess of people or same person, I don't even know, for over a week now. Like, to the point where they're sending me over 12 messages in 3 hours, talking about all kinds of nonsense. And so when she joined, I had sent her mail before I sent her an invite. I said, look, here are the rules. And she said, oh, what mail? I didn't get no mail. And I said, that mail. She's like, all right, I'm reading it now. That's a lie, and I'm about to prove it. Because in that mail, I said, one of the things I said was, I don't appreciate people coming in here and criticizing where I put my walls and my FOBs, and without even asking me why I did it. They just assume that I'm an idiot, I guess, and there's no reason for it. But there is. There's reasons for everything I do. And if I don't know something, I'll ask. They haven't asked me questions about anything that's related to their gameplay. The only questions they're asking me is about me, or about how they can do it better, or how so-and-so can do it better. Everything is derogatory, it's disrespectful, it's I knew what she was doing. So, when she said that she didn't get the message, that means she didn't get the rules. Even though she said she read it, but she didn't, because she goes down and asks me if she can bring the rest of her friends, which is now 10 people, not 3, like I had shown you previously. So she goes from, I'm not drama, to 3 people, to 10 people, to lying, to going from that to leaving because I told her not to worry about that wall. I know this video was long, my apologies. We learned a lot today. There was a lot of information to pack in there. So when you're dealing with gray area tactics, I suggest you don't have to. The best way to deal with it is to spring the trap because it's like being bullied, and once you punch the bully in the nose, he stops. So I would suggest that. But when you're talking about this right here, the victim people and trolls, best way to deal with those is to ignore them. They are no threat to you at all. Grave out. Thanks for watching, guys.